Welcome back to our candidate conversations. I'm here with Shannon Otto. She is running for County Council, District 3. And my name is Pastor Daniel. I'm on staff here at New Hope Fellowship. And we are hosting these candidate conversations as an opportunity for the community to get to know our candidates. We at the church are not sponsoring or endorsing any of them. We just want you to have the opportunity to get to know them. So Shannon, with that in mind, would you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
First of all, thank you so much for organizing this and doing this for every candidate to just come and be able to give a few minutes of their
Absolutely.
time. I am a mother of three. I have three girls, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. They are very busy, so we're very active with them. I work for my mother and father-in-law who own a business in Jefferson County, and I work full-time. I have my kids full-time, and we are super busy, and that's pretty much it about me.
That's awesome. And go ahead and tell us, so you're running for County Council,
Yes.
District 3. What made you decide to do that?
Well, it's a long story. So COVID really opened my eyes, and the lockdowns in the county and the state and nationwide. I got really involved in the school districts being able to tell us that we had to lock down or mask up. That got me involved in a little bit higher politics on the state level and finding out what's going on. Why are they able to tell us we have to lock down? You know, what the process is of legislation and what that looks like. So I took a step back a little bit and kind of got involved in the local government. So school boards, county council, and started watching from behind the scenes. I've worked closely with the Fox School District to implement some changes or kind of give a parental perspective of things and what that looks like, what we as parents think, and we might be afraid to stand up at the school board. Got involved in the county council and started watching those meetings, seeing where my tax dollars are going. Not a lot of us agreed of where our tax dollars are going or how that's being spent. There was no transparency. So I'm really looking forward to getting involved in that a little bit farther and representing my district and opening up the possibility of a lot more people being involved.
Sure. Well, we do have a list of questions that
Okay.
we sent to you, and we want to dive into those.
Sure.
And so one of the questions that a lot of people have asked is, do you have plans to help the homeless people in our community?
I've already looked into my district. Right now in the Fox School District, there are about 300 students enrolled that are homeless.
Wow.
Right now, registration is closer to 200. So something is happening that I'm not able to get full answers on, whether it's in our district or on the state level, the city level. You know, they come from all over. They have to qualify to go to a certain school district, but we pay for them to come into school. So our tax dollars fund for us to go pick them up and take them home every day, wherever that home looks like for them. I think we need to get a lot more involved with ComTree and finding out what's causing this homelessness and how can we help it and what doors can we open for them to give them something to call home, even if it's temporary.
Describe an instance in which you faced an ethical dilemma and how you handled it.
I think we face ethical dilemmas every day. I mean, especially with 3 small children, trying to guide them in the right direction of life and decision making and being honest with me, the parent, and their friends. I don't have a specific, example. I think we all face them every day, whether it's pulling out in front of someone on the highway or using your blinker or just being respectful of others. I think everyone should be aware of that.
And then, there are obviously lots of animals that don't have a home as well.
Right.
And so, how, as far as feral cats and those kind of things, do you have plans to address the animal control issue?
That is something I'd like to know a lot more about. I haven't heard much about that in my district personally, so I think it's more of other districts that it's happening. I'm not saying it's not happening in Arnold, but I think we need to figure out where it needs attention and focus our attention on those areas instead of spending money as a whole county on every single district when it's not necessary in every district.
Sure. And it does look different because Arnold may have
their own.
ordinances.
They do, yes.
Right.
The city of Arnold does.
Sure. What kind of jobs, interest, or volunteer activities have you had You talked about it a little bit, and then obviously 3 girls.
Yeah, I mean, right now, other than being involved politically behind the scenes, even though I haven't showed up to a ton of the meetings or gone to the Capitol as often as I would like, that's become my interest the past 2 years since COVID, just getting involved politically and finding out, what that looks like in legislative branches and why is Jefferson County split up into so many different branches and why other counties are not, and then on the state level, what that looks like.
And you've alluded to it a little bit, but go ahead and tell me, it seems like people are more involved and interested in politics than they've been in our lifetime. So why do you think that is?
I always go back to, one person, something happens to that individual and it's not right for them, and they reach out to somebody and then they find out, well, why is it like that? And then they talk to somebody else and then they reach out to somebody else, and that's how it started for me. You told me I couldn't leave my home for how long? They locked everybody down. I can't go to church. I can't go to the grocery store. Why not? So you start researching, and I think that's really opened everybody's eyes of what's going on in local government, the presidential elections. And I think more people are being interested and, want to be interested because they want to know where their tax dollars are going. All these things affect us, the gas prices, grocery prices, inflation. And people are finally seeing, like, it's not a huge deal to be involved in politics, and everyone should be.
Right. Yeah. I like that we're seeing different, that we're not just seeing politicians involved in politics. That
just moms and dads and, lower class, middle class, upper class. It doesn't matter. It affects all of us in some form.
Right. And you mentioned it a little bit, but what will you do specifically to provide more transparency?
I think just encouraging everyone to get involved. I mean, follow my Facebook page, follow my personal page. I mean, I'm trying to give as much information as I can, and once elected, I look forward to giving even more information, encouraging people to come to the meetings, find out where your tax dollars are going, whether that's a school board meeting, just your little ambulance board meeting, all those things. Everyone should know what's going on. So I will be putting as much information as I'm able to out there for anyone, so if they can't come to the meetings, that they still know what's going on.
Yeah. One of the things that I think many people have talked about is the balancing growth versus green space, or growth versus preserving the ecology of the area.
Yeah.
How do you plan to go about that?
The Jefferson County Master Plan has not been looked at in a very long time, and that needs to be reevaluated. I think we need to keep a lot of our rural green, Jefferson County green, let's keep it green, but we also need a plan for development. We need some development, but it has to be the right development, and the constituents need to be involved in those decisions.
And then, if elected to this position, do you anticipate at least finishing out the term? And is this a at least full-term commitment?
Yes, absolutely. I will give, busy people get more done is a very common known thing, and it's true. I never knew I was capable of juggling so many things and still being on top of and being able to maintain so many things. So, yeah, I will give it my all for 4 years. I can't answer whether I'll move on after the 4 years and just be done or move on to something else. I just would like to make a difference now and see what I can do.
That's awesome. What or who are the major influences in your life?
Currently or ever?
Sure.
Growing up, it was my mom.
Yeah.
She worked her tail off to make sure my sister and I had everything we wanted. We went through a lot of hard times, and she would work 2 or 3 jobs to make sure that we got to play the sports we wanted. We got to get the school supplies we needed, and she never complained about it. Now, currently in my life, I would say my husband has taken on a huge role in that, and I have so much respect for him. Him and I run a business, and it doesn't stop for him, and it doesn't stop for me, so I have a lot of respect for my mother and my husband.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What do you think is the biggest problem facing our county?
Leadership. I think the county lacks a lot of leadership and teamwork. Currently, the council does not work together very well. At least that's what's perceived by the public. And I think it's time for us to all sit down, work together, and be a team.
It's awesome. And how do you, I mean, do you have specific goals for how you will make that happen, how you will build that teamwork? Because obviously everybody on the council, they all have different areas that they're fighting for.
I think you need to be able to listen to the other council members and trust what their constituents want and have that relationship. You may not agree with it, but if that's what their constituents want, then you need to give them the opportunity to speak. That's what they want or that's what they don't want, and understand. And then when you're done on that council and you step away, you don't have this anger and aggression towards that person because you disagree with them. We're adults and we need to be respectful of each other.
And I know you've already talked about it a little bit, but will you reiterate, why do you want to serve the county in this role?
I want to be the voice for the county. I've had a trusting relationship with several people in the community working with the school district. I've got a lot of people that supported me and encouraged me to do this because I will stand up, even if that means I'm standing by myself. And, I've already had a lot of people reach out to me after doing some door knocking and encourage me. I hope you win because I need that transparency from you. I need to know what's going on, even if it's only affecting my subdivision. I just look forward to it. I have a lot of support from a lot of people, and I'm excited about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we've gone through all the questions that I think we're going to get to on those, but I do want to get to the lightning round of questions.
Okay.
These are the fun questions, although some people may not think so. So when you were 6 years old, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A teacher. I always looked up to my teachers. They were always organized and, at least what you could see.
Sure.
And they were a big influence in my life growing up.
Yeah, and when did that path?
I would say in high school, when you start getting a lot more teachers and a lot more, tougher subjects and things like that. It's hard to build those relationships in high school when you see so many teachers every day.
Right. What would you say was the first book you read that really stuck with you?
Wow, the first book. I think something I always reference back to is The Diary of Anne Frank. That's a good one. And I think we studied that for 2 or 3 years at school, different perspectives of the book, and that's one that's always stuck with me.
That's good. Let's see. I have a lot more questions.
Okay.
And so I'm just trying to find a good one. More of a morning person or a night owl?
Neither.
Neither.
I'll get up if I have to, but give me a good cup of coffee. And my husband does like to stay up, so if he's staying up, I tend to stay up with him.
Yeah. Let's see. Some of these are better than others. So, we're going to have to cut these down. Sorry. All modesty aside, what are you better at than 90% of the population?
Organizing. I'm extremely OCD with organizing and having things structured, and I know where it is when I need to look for it. There's not something missing. I don't have the whole missing sock thing like a lot of people do when your dryer eats your sock. I label things, and that's just my life. I enjoy it. It keeps me calm when things are structured and organized.
Good.
Yeah.
And last question, it is a tough one. What color is your toothbrush?
It's white.
It's white.
Oral-B.
Okay.
It's electric. You don't really get to pick your color. Well, there is a little ring that has colors on it sometimes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it was good having you out.
Yes,
Shannon.
thank you so much.
Where can people find more information about you and your campaign?
I'm on Facebook at Otto for District 3, or my cell phone number is 314-607-6680. You can reach me anytime. My phone is always available.